but maybe, just maybe, the fans even know how to make a better version of World of Warcraft than you do. This is a topic that I know that many of you have been waiting for me to talk about, and that is Blizzard's war against private servers, specifically what has happened recently with Ascension World of Warcraft. So to quickly bring you up to speed, if you're somebody that maybe you're not familiar with what's been going on in the World of Warcraft community in regards to private servers recently, 2 seconds, let me bring you up to speed. Blizzard has been notoriously attacking private servers recently, not just big ones, but small ones as well. And like servers that have been around for a very long time, Blizzard is going through hell and high water and going out of their way to shut these projects down. The most popular one is Turtle WoW that has been recently, deactivated, turned off, whatever. I don't exactly know how long ago it was at this point, but some time ago, maybe like a few months, a year at most, probably not even that, Blizzard filed a lawsuit against Turtle WoW, gave them a time frame to shut down, and only just recently did Turtle WoW finally close their servers. And people were very upset about this, but at the same time, it was kind of understandable because Blizzard has been hinting that they are going to do their own Classic Plus server here really soon, and Turtle WoW was offering a Classic Plus experience with years of content development behind their back. So Turtle WoW had been around for a hot minute. Keep in mind, it's not like Turtle WoW popped up yesterday or like a year ago and then Blizzard suddenly said, oh, hey, we need to shut these guys down. No, they've been around for a while, okay? There was a few other servers that were shut down. Another one was called Stormforge. I don't really know anything about Stormforge personally. That was the first time I had heard about it. But I think there was like 2 others that Blizzard recently went after. But the recent one that Blizzard is now filing a lawsuit against is Ascension WoW. And honestly, bros, like just being 100% real here, I have no idea like how Ascension WoW has been around for as long as it has been. Because if you thought that like a lot of people will like look at Turtle WoW and they'll be like, Turtle WoW deserved it because they were like poking the bull. They were actually like tweeting at Blizzard Entertainment and like, poking fun at them and stuff in a good way. Like, like good humorous fun, like, oh, like we love this new patch and ha ha ha, like you guys should check out Turtle and like whatever. So, being maybe a little stupid, poking a bear with a stick, with their, stolen IP server. But Ascension WoW, dude, Ascension WoW got started back in 2016. I looked it up. That was their alpha and beta testing. And then Ascension WoW, like, I don't even know what happened, bro. I just remember like a couple of years ago going on Facebook and there were just Ascension WoW advertisements everywhere. I would go on Instagram, Ascension WoW adverts everywhere. You go on YouTube. My YouTube videos on my main Nixxiom channel had Ascension WoW advertisements popping up on them. And people were like, bro, this private server, it has grown so big that these people have created an entire like marketing campaign with like a huge budget, and they are like pushing the amount of money that Ascension was like throwing around. Because if you've ever gone to like Ascension's website, like just out of pure damn curiosity, go Google Ascension WoW right now. Look at their website, look at their artwork, look at the stuff that these people have built since they got started, and it will blow your mind. If you thought what Turtle WoW did with their whole like building the whole Classic Plus experience, if you thought like what they built was cool, wait until you see what Ascension WoW has done. Yes, of course people have criticisms and stuff like, oh, I don't like this kind of content, I don't like that. But Ascension WoW, it is ridiculous. Like, not only did they make I could go into like a whole rant about like what they did with like their most recent Bronzebeard server, just for example, but I don't want this to be like an advertisement to go play Ascension WoW, because that's what people are gonna say. They're like, oh, you're trying to, all right, listen, like I'll just say this, like they're about to release a server here really soon, okay? With 21 new World of Warcraft classes added to the game in a Classic Plus experience. Like a totally like remade world, graphical upgrades, like blah, blah, blah. Professions are updated, tons of new quests, RPG items to find in the open world. you can go watch their recent trailer just showing off what they're going to do. And, you know, these classes that they've made, the 21 new classes, they've been working on them for the past couple of years and stuff. And judging from like how they look incredible. Blizzard gives us like a new class like once every what, like 6 years or something. These bastards are doing 21 in like no time at all. And they look freaking awesome. Anyway, Ascension WoW, the amount of content that they have created over the past like almost 10 years now, I am shocked that Blizzard is only now going after Ascension WoW, because Ascension has always been like to me, it was kind of like Ascension WoW and Turtle WoW were like the private servers, with Ascension WoW being the bigger of the two. At least I think Ascension WoW is bigger than Turtle. I'm pretty sure that they are, but I'm not 100% sure there. So Blizzard has filed a lawsuit against Ascension WoW. They're determined to shut down the private server of all private servers, the server that makes Blizzard's content development and Blizzard's marketing look like complete ass in comparison. Just is what it is, bro. And people are certainly upset about it. You know, same reason people were upset about the whole Turtle WoW thing, because people are looking to these fans and they're like, bro, like these fans, like these dorks, like in their basement are giving to players what they've been asking for years. And yet Blizzard can't do this despite being a multi-billion-dollar company, because Ascension WoW, even if they're rolling in it a little bit, they ain't no multi-billion-dollar company. They probably aren't even a multi-million-dollar company. Well, maybe they are. I mean, I don't know, but they not nowhere near as big as Blizzard Entertainment. I mean, come on. Then there's also people that are kind of frustrated about this. I'm kind of in this camp. I've been talking about this for a while, and I actually appreciate the fact that I'm seeing more and more people taking up this position, and even like tweeting at Blizzard and leaving comments and stuff saying like, hey, this is how it should be. And I don't know if I've started like a small chain reaction, but you know, by God, if I have, great. Personally, I hold the position, you've heard me talk about it before, that Blizzard, instead of shutting down these damn servers, maybe, they don't have to do this, but maybe they should consider the idea of hosting like these people's content like on Blizzard realms, official Blizzard realms, like in California and Europe and like whatever. And like, when people play on Blizzard Ascension WoW, Blizzard doesn't touch it. They just let the fans, you know, create whatever kind of server they want. You know, it's got a big server list of fan created stuff. You know, when people play, or when people pay $15 a month and they're playing like on Ascension WoW or whatever, there's like some sort of math algorithm that happens in the background where the developers of the server that people are playing on, that's hosted by Blizzard, whether it's Ascension WoW or Turtle WoW or whatever, or like, you know, Nixxiom WoW or something, like they get a small percentage of that $15 a month that that person is playing or paying to play on, you know, Blizzard servers and stuff. Does that make sense? Like, I think that would be great. Like, that would be a way of Blizzard, instead of punishing like the creativity of the community and potentially like, what's the word I'm looking for here, guys? Like, help me out a little bit. Like, instead of like squandering or like suppressing, I guess, I don't know if that's the right word for it, like the potential for World of Warcraft's longevity through fan created content, you know, fans creating content for fans. Like, look at Skyrim, look at, anyway, like, look at any game with like a huge modding community. Instead of Blizzard like just crucifying that, why doesn't Blizzard embrace it? You know what I mean? Like, Blizzard's been fighting these private servers for years. Like, why not just embrace them in a way? Why not read the writing on the wall and accept the fact that, hey, maybe Blizzard, maybe the fans know what they want more than you do. Maybe even at this point, this is a straight, you know, punch to the gut. It's a straight punch to the ego, but maybe, just maybe, the fans even know how to make a better version of World of Warcraft than you do. All right? Because I guarantee you, I would bet $1 that if Blizzard like announced everything that Ascension is announcing with their 21 class Bronzebeard server that they're releasing in July, if Blizzard put that crap up on BlizzCon, like up on the movie stage or whatever, and said, hey, this is our version of Classic Plus, this is what we're releasing ourselves, people would lose their minds. They would think it's incredible. The only reason why more people aren't playing on Ascension and stuff is because, you know, it's a private server. You know, it breaks terms of service. People don't want to people don't want their accounts to get banned. You know, people don't want to do what's, you know, immoral in their eyes, you know, supporting like a stolen IP and everything, blah, blah, blah. So somebody just invited me to a guild. Chicago Soul invites you to join. No, I don't know why Blizzard doesn't just do this, but I would assume that one of the main reasons why is it's an admittance of defeat. You know, just like when they had to, like, you know, send J. Allen Brack out on the stage at BlizzCon to announce Classic WoW, that was an admittance of defeat. Like, hey, we were wrong. We did not listen. We did not understand. Now, I know what you're all going to say now. You're going to say, okay, Blizzard has filed this lawsuit against Ascension WoW. Well, what has Ascension said about the lawsuit? Well, nothing. They've said literally nothing. Turtle WoW, when they had the lawsuit filed against them, they kind of almost did like an appeal to mercy. You know, like they were on like death's row. You know, it's like Thomas Cromwell sending his letter to King Henry VIII, just saying like mercy, mercy, mercy. You know, then Blizzard, of course, just looked down on it and said no, like they didn't even respond. They didn't waste their time with it. Ascension WoW hasn't even done that. You know, they haven't put out a letter. They haven't addressed anything. Like, to my understanding, the lawsuit has gone forward to the point of summons, I think, where, like, I'm not really, like, you know, I'm not familiar with, like, legal practice and stuff. I've never been to court. I've never even done jury duty, so I am no expert by any means. But to my understanding, a court date is set. The people that have been identified that work at Ascension have been called to court, like, hey, you need to show up. And if they don't show up, then Blizzard just wins. They win the whole court thing, like, by default, and then we'll see what happens. I don't know that, man. People are, like, kind of clenching their cheeks a little bit, and they're kind of wondering, like, is this going to be different than the Turtle situation? Because everybody thought that Turtle WoW wasn't actually going to go away. Yeah, I even thought that. I talked about it in videos. Like, I thought that Turtle WoW was behind so many layers of, like, anonymous stuff that Blizzard was going to throw lawsuits at them and stuff, and nothing was going to happen because, you know, I assumed that they probably had like lawsuits thrown at them in the past and they just wiped their asses with them. Well, apparently I was wrong. You know, many of us were wrong about that. But this time, like when it comes to Ascension WoW, you know, people are saying the same thing. Like, oh, well, like Ascension WoW ain't going nowhere because Ascension WoW, unlike Turtle WoW, like they actually are behind many, 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 many layers of like, you know, anonymous names and discords and like whatever to make that whole, I don't know. I guess we're going to see what's going to happen. But here's the thing. Blizzard has to do this. If you go and watch Ascension WoW's trailer for like their Bronzebeard 21 new class Classic Plus experience server thing that they're about to release, if you watch that, and like their whole breakdown of everything that they've done and that they've built, you are going to sit there with your jaw on the floor. Because never has Blizzard given to us like a piece of content with like that much depth and like that much love and just that much content, you know, put into it. We've never seen anything like it in a patch or in an expansion. Like, it is insane the amount of stuff that they are doing with this server. It is wild. And it's supposed to be a classic-ish plus experience. I mean, it's new classes and stuff. It's like beyond Classic Plus, to be fair. It's like Classic Plus Plus Plus, like at this point, because you don't even have the original classes anymore, you know what I mean? And this is why Blizzard's got to shut it down. By the way, ding, level 7. Make sure you say grats to me in the comments section below. That's how I know that you're a real one, that you're cool. Anyway, like the video too while you're down there. Okay, anyway. Blizzard has to shut them down because I talked about this with the Turtle WoW thing as well. Like when Turtle was getting shut down, people are going to watch that. People are going to see like that level of content that they could be experiencing on a damn private server. And then Blizzard is going to announce whatever the heck that they're going to do for Classic Plus at BlizzCon this year. And let's just be real. Like Ascension WoW has had 10 years of development behind it. Blizzard's version of Classic Plus, like Blizzard probably wasn't even seriously considering to do Classic Plus until maybe like 2-ish years ago, if that. So whatever the heck Blizzard puts out on the stage, like at BlizzCon, like there's going to be some good stuff in there, I'm sure. Like, I'm probably going to get hyped about a few things just like you guys. Like, I'm sure Blizzard has listened to some feedback and they are going to do some things with their version of Classic Plus that is going to be pretty cool. But is it going to be to like the degree that like Turtle WoW was able to accomplish? Or like that Ascension, like is it gonna be to like that extent with like that much content, that many cool new things to explore and find and interact with? There's no way. Blizzard's Classic Plus is not going to be able to hold a candle to Turtle WoW. It's not going to be able to hold a candle to Ascension WoW. And so the only thing that Blizzard can do is shut these servers down, because otherwise Blizzard has to suffer the embarrassment of putting out a Classic Plus that is a sub-quality product compared to like what the fans have created and just being laughed at for it. But like, that's what Blizzard does, bro. Like Blizzard just puts out, like Blizzard just looks at what the fans have created. Have I talked about this in a video yet? I don't even know. Blizzard looks at what the fans have created and they always create this like crappier version of it. You ever think about that? Like they always make like a downgraded version of what the fans do. Like, let's just take, for example, like Classic WoW, the 2019 Classic WoW. What did people want before 2019 Classic came out? They just wanted to re-experience vanilla WoW. That was it. With all of its pros, with all of its cons, with all of its whatever, its jankiness and stuff, people wanted to experience vanilla WoW again for the sake of nostalgia, because they genuinely thought that Classic WoW or original vanilla WoW is a better game than the modern game, or because, you know, whatever their reason were, they wanted to play this older version of Classic WoW. Blizzard wasn't giving it to the players, and so eventually a private server, Nostalrius, pops up, says, okay, well, here is vanilla WoW, pretty much exactly as it was to the best of our ability, enjoy it. It blows up, Blizzard shuts it down, and then in 2019, after Blizzard learned their lesson, Blizzard releases their own version of Classic WoW, which was pretty good in the beginning for the most part, aside from the fact that it started on the Naxxramas patch. And so like every, spec and character was tuned for Naxxramas, right from the get-go. So you didn't really have that, it's one of the criticisms of 2019 Classic WoW is that it was actually too easy compared to like original vanilla WoW, because everybody was like tuned for like Naxxramas stuff, like all the talents and everything. And so it made the world easier to go through. Anyway, that's a whole discussion for another time. But the point is, Blizzard puts out 2019 Classic WoW. Eventually they start making changes to it. Eventually they start introducing things like WoW tokens and character boosts, like new little quest lines and new mounts that you can get. And then people are shaking their heads like, hey, the whole reason why we wanted you to do this was so that we could re-experience Classic WoW, with its pros and cons. Yes, like there are some things in vanilla WoW that are very frustrating and very annoying, but that's what makes it classic, and you don't touch it. You know what I mean? Like all you had to do was just not touch it, just leave it alone as a time capsule to be enjoyed. But Blizzard couldn't do that. Then later on, we had the whole hardcore movement. Hardcore comes out, a whole add-on and leaderboards and achievements and all this stuff, all made by fans, website hosted by fans, like huge movement. Everybody gets involved, and Blizzard's like, we're gonna do our own hardcore, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be great. Like, it's gonna be amazing. Like, Blizzard hardcore, here it comes. And what is it? It's just hardcore. No achievements, no leaderboards, no cool dedicated website for it. No cool like graphics or anything that pop up in game when someone dies or like whatever. Like there's nothing. It's just hardcore. It's classic with like, if you die, you die. You sit there and you're like, come on, Blizzard. Like you always give us like a weaker version of what the fans were able to make, because it's like, and then you wonder why people sit and say like, Blizzard, why are you not, like, why are like the devs at Blizzard like so lacking in passion when it comes to World of Warcraft? I just made a video here on this channel talking about how World of Warcraft is not as immersive as it used to be. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, but the video was already too long. One of the things that I wanted to discuss was how like you can tell that the Blizzard writers themselves are not immersed into World of Warcraft. Like, they don't think from the perspective of like their characters and how they would seriously react to certain situations or certain like stimuli that pop up in the story and whatnot, events and so on. Like, they don't think like that. I'm always tempted to make a part 2 to that whole immersion video if you guys want to see that. But anyway, like, you know, you can see that like Blizzard just does not have the passion that the fans do. And this just brings me right back to what I was saying a second ago. Blizzard, if you don't have the passion for the game, okay? If your devs don't have the love for Azeroth that the fans do, then why not let the fans develop the game? Embrace, like, take the frickin' server list pill. Let like Ascension WoW and like other like game dev type players that love World of Warcraft, like, let them make their own custom versions of World of Warcraft. Set it as like a special window in the realm selection thing where you can play on these player made servers and enjoy them. Maybe make some like requirements or something of like, you know, like how much work needs to be done on these servers before like they're approved and actually hosted by Blizzard. Like, you can't just like have a server where like, oh, you log in and like every single mob has been replaced with Kodo. Like, it's like, no, it's got to be more than that, you know, or something. Like, Blizzard, embrace this. Adventurers remains. This adventurer met an unfortunate fate here long ago. Damn. I don't know what that's all about, but I assume if I could heal him, maybe something cool would happen. But anyway, I'm playing Season of Discovery right now. There's a big resurgence in Season of Discovery, which is cool. So I don't know. Blizzard's got to do it. Blizzard's got to shut down Ascension WoW, because otherwise Ascension WoW is going to make Blizzard look dumb. I don't really know what else to say, guys. I mean, I was very impressed by what I saw with the Ascension trailer. I think it was cool. And honestly, I think that, you know, honestly, I know if any Blizzard devs are watching this video, they're gonna hate me for it. They probably shake their fists at me when I make these videos, but hey bro, it is what it is. Like, I think that more people should watch these trailers of what like these private servers are creating, Turtle WoW, Ascension WoW and stuff. And I want the average WoW player to see what a bunch of jack-offs are doing with a limited budget in like without even a real office building to work in or anything. I want them to see what a bunch of jack-offs are able to do with the game, and then I want them to compare it to what Blizzard's doing with the game. Like, if these buttholes can pump out like a ludicrous amount of content in like a window about like yay big or so, why can't Blizzard do that? I know people are gonna say like, oh, well, you know, Blizzard's a big complex machine and lots of moving parts and blah, 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 and, you know, yada, 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 whatever. And, you know, I hear you when you say that, but it's like, bro, like, if private servers are able to pump out like this incredibly high quality content on the regular that actually is like not only high quality, but it's like mind blowing at the sheer amount of content that we're getting all from like a small private server team, and Blizzard can't match this level of quality, there's a big problem and it needs to be fixed. That's my rant. Anyway, go watch the video that's on your screen right now. I made one talking about how World of Warcraft isn't as immersive as it used to be, and my goodness, like, you guys are really talking in that comment section. Like, that was just some BS video that I started recording while I was watching my daughter one afternoon, and you guys were just like, dude, this is great. Like, Nixxiom's hitting the nail on the head. And it's like, thank you. It's very much appreciated, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed that video. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on your screen right now. And I guess we'll see what happens with Ascension. We shall see. And we'll also see what's going to go down with Blizzard's Classic Plus. Please don't disappoint us, Blizzard. Please.